What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Politics with Steve. All right, y'all. So before we get started, I want to take a second, ask everybody to subscribe to my YouTube page, sign up for my email list. Link is below. That is the best way to stay in the loop on everything Politics with Steve related. Without further ado, let's get to it. All right, so it's been nonstop headlines since last week, the whole Charlie Kirk situation that we had to talk about. But now I want to dive into everything we know in regards to Trump's connections with Epstein, because we had a lot of really big news, and it is confirmed that Trump is all over the Epstein Files. I feel like the closer we get to seeing these files, the more shit just been, going up in flames. But again, let's catch up on what we know. So some time ago, we discussed the fact that the Wall Street Journal dropped the story that this man Trump wrote Epstein a sick birthday letter, in which he had like an imaginary conversation with himself. It was just weird, right? Now, of course, Trump being Trump, he denied the existence of this letter. But thanks to the House Oversight Committee subpoenaing Jeffrey Epstein's estate, we now can see this letter. I'm going to show y'all this quick clip of Rachel Maddow discussing the contents of the letter, and then we're going to talk about it.
And now today we get this, which President Trump said did not exist. Donald Trump, in fact, sued the Wall Street Journal when they reported this summer that Trump had signed a birthday book for Jeffrey Epstein with some sort of a crude doodle of a naked woman and an enigmatic note from Trump to Epstein that seemed to suggest some kind of shared secret between them. Trump denied he had done any such thing and brought a big splashy lawsuit against the Wall Street Journal for...
By the way, I told y'all as soon as the Wall Street Journal published this, it's no way they published this without knowing for a fact this letter exists.
Publishing the claim that he had done such a thing, that such a letter with a doodle on it like that did exist. There must be more to life than having everything. Donald, yes, there is, but I won't tell you what it is. Jeffrey, nor will I, since I also know what it is. Donald, we have certain things in common, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, yes, we do, come to think of it. Donald, enigmas never age. Have you noticed that? Jeffrey, as a matter of fact, it was clear to me the last time I saw you. Donald, a pal is a wonderful thing. Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret. And then it is signed. See the typewritten text there, Donald J. Trump, with the handwritten signature, Donald.
Of course, the next slide that Trump would reasonably use is that the signature isn't his. So, Rachel got us covered right there, too.
So it is the birthday book for Epstein that has Trump purportedly signing it, Donald, in 2003. Here, the New York Times publishes an example of a book Trump signed to Jeffrey Epstein in 1997, Donald. Here's the Wall Street Journal publishing an example of a letter Trump signed, Donald, in the year 2000. Here's the Wall Street Journal publishing an example of a letter Trump signed, Donald, in 2006.
So Trump wants us to not believe what we just seen. He wants us to believe that that letter was forged, or the letter is fake, or he was framed by Democrats, or whatever it was. Bro, the letter came straight from Epstein's estate that is managed by lawyers. And I mean, the letter was back from 2003. So who faked it? Like, they knew Trump was going to run for office back in 2003 and started plotting a smear campaign against him. Like, it literally doesn't even make sense. But that's the stuff that Trump wants us to believe. Like, he always telling us that everybody lying on him. All of these sexual assault allegations, you got the fraud allegations. Now this Epstein stuff. Give me a fucking break. JP Morgan, who was Epstein's bank at the time, handed over to the feds records of over 4,700 payments, totaling about $1.1 billion as potential evidence of Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking ring. Now, Congress have been begging the DOJ to get their hands on this information, right? They trying to review it. And let me show y'all like why information like this is significant. So here's something new that we also found out and got from Epstein's estate. Show y'all this and then we're going to talk about it. All right, so what we're looking at is a picture of Epstein, another guy, and then a woman whose face is redacted. And they are carrying a check. The check is for $22,500. The check has Trump's name on it. Now, there was a note attached to this check that says it's for a fully depreciated girl. That is not even like funny if it was like a joke, but any event that's actually a real payment for an actual woman that was being sex trafficked, the evidence would be in the records that JP Morgan handed over to the feds. Another piece of this cover up that I find is very interesting. We all know that Pam Bondi directed the FBI to search through the Epstein files to redact Trump's name. But now we heard the acting deputy chief of the Office of Enforcement at the DOJ, no regular person, say very clearly that they plan to redact Republican names from the Epstein files. Let's take a listen to that and then we're going to talk about it.
Epstein will actually get released or not at all?
If it does, it'll be heavily redacted and his name won't be in it.
Those files do exist.
There's files.
Yeah.
For sure. There's thousands and thousands of pages of files. But again, if they're released in any way, it's going to be very redacted. They'll redact every Republican or conservative person in those files, leave all the liberal Democratic people in those files, and have a very slanted version of it come out where it's like to look at what he's going without releasing any of their bad behavior.
So right there, again, not a regular person. The guy is really a high level official at the Department of Justice, literally saying that the plan is to redact Republican names. I can't make this stuff up. I mean, we got the Speaker of the House saying that Trump was an FBI informant trying to take this stuff down when he was talking about Trump's relationship with Epstein. He had to quickly put out a statement saying that he misspoke. Like, what's up with this? Like, what's going on? So now let's get a little bit personal, right? I want y'all to really see how personal this connection between these two guys was, right? I want y'all to hear this story from Jeffrey Epstein's brother, Mark Epstein. And Mark has nothing to do with any of Epstein's crimes. He appears to be a credible person. And he really go into detail about just how intimate their relationship was. Let's take a listen to this and then we're going to discuss it.
Mark, from what you know, from what you saw, how close was your brother to Donald Trump?
They were very close. They were good friends. Jeffrey used to sometimes tell me things that Donald said that were funny. I know Donald was in Jeff's office a lot back in the 90s. It's documented that Donald flew on Jeff's plane a number of times. I don't know if they ever checked, but I know Jeff flew on Donald's plane also. I don't know if they've ever looked at his flight logs. And they were good friends. I mean, I flew on Jeff's plane. It's known I was on the plane in 1999, flying up from Florida, and Donald was with us. And we were all joking around. They were good friends.
So, tell me about that. I know there was something on that flight that you remember about your brother and Trump. What is it?
Well, it was a funny thing. We were talking, and stick a pin in that. A couple weeks or a week before that flight, I was talking to Jeffrey, and he told me that he was talking to Donald, and he asked Donald, how come you sleep with so many married women? And Donald's answer was, because it's so wrong. Now, amongst guys, it was a funny line. And then when we were on the plane a week or two later, Jeffrey asked Donald the same question. I know he did that for my benefit. so that I could hear Donald say it. And Jeffrey asked him, how come you sleep with so many married women? And Donald said, because it's so wrong. Now, it's a funny line, but the answer is not the poignant part of the story here. The question is the poignant part, because for Jeffrey to ask him that question, number one, he would have to know that Donald slept with a lot of married women, so and he probably got that information from Donald. And
It
also,
implies a confidence.
that's not the kind of question you ask a casual acquaintance. How come you slept with so many married women? That's a question you ask a good friend that you can get away with asking those kind of questions.
We just heard Mark Epstein, Jeffrey's brother, say that Trump was on a private jet. We can look at Jeffrey Epstein's flight records, which are now public, says Trump was on a plane with Ghislaine Maxwell 4 times in 1993. He was on a plane in 1994. He was on the plane in 1995. He was on the plane in 1997. Do y'all see how long this relationship was? Jeffrey Epstein butler that he had for 18 years claimed that Trump offered him a job in his first administration. Now, in that same birthday book, we also found out that the UK's ambassador to the US referred to Epstein as my best pal. In addition to that, it came out later when Bloomberg uncovered 18,000 of Epstein's emails that Mendelsohn was trying to help Epstein fight back against his criminal convictions, saying stuff like this couldn't happen in Britain. Also, in those new emails, we seen that Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell was working to discredit some of the women that was accusing them. I mean, you just can't trust these people. Why was the DOJ meeting with Ghislaine Maxwell? We got to find out all of that. We need all of the files released immediately.